men have no worth or value, and it simply means that they're not able to attract the woman that they would like. Let's see if I can if anybody wants to send a request, I'm just waiting until I can get some more people in. But I think what hurts me the most is seeing a lot of women really truly affected by the fact that men act like if they're single or they're not married, there's something wrong with them. And so many women feed into that delusion that these same men that are saying this to you, at the same time, they're going home to no one. They don't have a wife. They don't have a girlfriend. They don't have anyone that loves or cares about them unless they have their wallet open or unless they're, paying for some type of dance at a strip club. And anyway, I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about the fact that men, contrary, and I think it's the biggest manipulation ever. And I think that, I think it is with a lot of things that men apply to women, is that it's actually them as opposed to women. That men, benefit from marriage far more. Sorry, you guys. I wanted to say that men benefit from marriage way more than women. And that is something that I really do feel like should be talked about more often. But I don't think that it is talked about really at all. Is that the fact that men, and there are so many studies to prove this fact. So this whole idea of holding like a situation of marriage or partnership above a woman's head has got to stop. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any women that are married that benefit from that union or partnership. But what I am saying is that the majority of women that are in partnerships do not benefit from that marriage more than the man that they're with does. So I want to talk about it. Number one, if you're not married, you should be abstinent. If you're a woman, period. If you are not married, you should absolutely and wholeheartedly be abstinent for sure. Number two, if a man cannot improve your life, if he cannot put you in a better circumstance than you are currently in, and that could cover a whole host of things, but if he cannot improve your life, he is not dating material. He's not marriage material. He's not somebody that you should entertain at all. That's number two. Number three, I want women to understand, because clearly there are a lot of women that don't understand. If a man cheats, period, I don't care what reason that he's given you, or what reason, how you managed to take that burden onto you. If a man cheats, the relationship should be over, finito. It isn't that it should be, it just absolutely should be right then and there, done. He's cooked. Number four, if a man does not want to provide, you shouldn't be with him, period. Because I literally just saw a live where men talking about how they don't want to provide for the women that they're with. And if they're with those women, they're going to work every day just like they are, because what do they look like paying for a woman to stay there? If a man ever comes at you with something like that, then you absolutely need to not entertain that man. Like, I don't even understand why you would. Number five, I wanted to mention something that I do think is very important, is that women with low standards are destroying Black men specifically. And a lot of those women are pick-me's, and they feel like they are building up Black men. However, you are destroying them. If you have no standards and you don't require anything and to access your vagina and your time and your labor and your effort and your womb and all of these things, you don't require anything from that man. Those men, once they use you up and cast you to the side, they go to other Black women with the same delusion that they will get the same treatment. And sometimes they do get the same treatment, and sometimes they become insanely violent because the next woman is not willing to do that. So you are destroying the mindset of Black men, honestly, when you have no standards. So, and that particularly number five is for the women that claim that they love Black men so much that they're trying to build Black men up. They have all of the pick-me rhetoric popping. You are not. You are destroying Black men. And, I hate to bring her up, Black men. And I hate to bring her up. I bring her up often, but I really do believe like Janine, just a girl. She's a perfect example of that. A woman with low standards that is encouraging a man that is literally a monster man to think that he actually has something to offer a woman, and he only thinks that because you're delusional behind God with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to really think about. And then to go out and spread that rhetoric like a virus to other women and make them feel like the way to go is to be with the low class, bottom of the barrel black man is also, yeah. But anyway, hey, supervillain, you have something to say, sis? I was hoping I could get some more people in here. Hopefully I can. But I be shadow banned, so.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. I'm gonna say I don't know, and I used to see like get the warnings when you went warnings. I'm saying warnings. Get the notifications when you went live. I don't see them anymore, so I don't know what's going on. That's really unfortunate. But I try to share the live to as many people as I can, so hopefully they're rolling in. Around this time. Well, I'm on the East Coast. Everybody's like getting settled in for the next day, so hopefully they'll come in. But I would love to speak to the topic while I have the time. I'm so glad I can catch you in the nighttime. This is fun. First, I'm gonna say I am someone who is pro celibate, single, and celibate. However, I do acknowledge that there are beautiful marriages. You have one, so I won't say I'm anti-marriage anymore. Hanging around you, I can definitely see I've made that change. So I do thank you. I'm still pro single and celibate, but I do recognize yeah, some people are doing real well in their marriage, so I can't. Anything that's good for a black woman, I can never be against. So I can't. Anything that's good for a black woman, I can never be against. So I can honestly say I am no longer anti-marriage. Um, I do want to say this for the first prompt. That is personally what I'm doing. I'm not married. I'm choosing to be single and celibate. However, I don't like to tell women what to do. I just like to say some choices are probably better than others, right? Some choices may not be the best for you. And I think we can hold each other as sisters accountable with that. Now, with me being single and celibate, it has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with respectability politics or purity culture. I'm not saving myself for a good man to come around. I am staying single and celibate because of men because these men are crazy and they out here doing it with monitor lizards. I could never imagine ever knowing the capacity that these men go through to access SMEX. I mean, they have totally turned me off. So when I say I'm single and celibate, it has nothing to do with purity culture. It is because these guys have totally turned me off. So I'm gonna say that for the first prompt. Number two, if a man cannot improve your life, he is not dating material. And I think that is such an important statement. And I want to caveat and say we have to put good men because oftentimes when we talk, we need to speak with intention. If you, I obviously, you know me, Trig. I'm not dating. I don't. It's all men for me, so I can't particularly talk to dating. Like I can't give advice, but if I could put my 2 cents in, it would be a good man will always leave you better than he met you, right? Good people in general will always leave you better than they have met you. So if he is not contributing to your life, you're probably not making the right choice and staying with him. Let's see, number three. If a man cheats, the relationship is over. Oh, I absolutely believe that. Um, Men definitely, I'm going to say from what I've seen, again, I don't date, but they will test your boundaries. And whatever you are okay with, they will push and take a mile and take even a more inch of what you allow. So definitely, even if maybe later on you have to come back, which I don't believe in spinning the block, but some people have been successful with that. But first sign of cheating, first sign of red flags, you got to let it go. You have to have strong boundaries. You have to have them for yourself. When you can respect yourself, that just shows or leaves a precedent for him. Even if y'all don't get back together, you're not disrespecting yourself, you know? Um, let's see. Sorry, I can't see the prompt because of the gifts. Thanks for the gifts, guys. Y'all awesome. Okay, if a man does not want to provide, you shouldn't provide him with anything. I'm sorry, I'm sounding like I can't read. Uh, it's so funny because me and T Scorpio had this talk the other day on her live. We were actually saying we've noticed that a lot of these men who have an issue with providing for their wives, like doing not even just doing a bare minimum, just extra, doing not even just doing a bare minimum, just extra, cash here to get your nails done, hair's done, a little nice dress for dinner. These men have not seen their mothers being taken care of. They've seen their mothers being taken care of. They've seen their mothers work her fingers to the bone. They've seen their mothers get abused by men. They've seen their mothers not treated nicely. And if that's good enough for their mother, who they love so much, they damn sure ain't gonna do nothing special for you. We've definitely been taking notes whenever we have these conversations with these men and they come on the live. And that's the common consensus. They have never, ever seen a man take care of their mother, because a man who's used to seeing his mother taken care of does not have vitriol with taking care of a woman because he's used to it. He knows if his mother is taken care of, he knows that the woman he needs to be with is taken care of. So, and there are, of course, caveats to that, but for the most part, that's what we notice. We're trying to generate data when we talk with these guys, and that's a common consensus. They'll say, "Oh, my mother this, my mother slaved that, my mother this." Yeah, we can tell, we know. Um, Women with low standards are destroying black men. Well, it's all meant for me, so I cannot participate in any solution that involves men or are for men, so I'm gonna skip that one. All I can say is black women, have standards for yourself. If you're gonna have higher standards, let it be for yourself, and a good man should come around if there are any left. You know me, I don't believe in that, but some women, they do, so I want it for them. And I think I made it down the list pretty good. What do you think, Trigger? Thank you.
All right, all right. I think you made it. Think you made it down the list. Great. As far as number five goes, I was just saying, like, I mentioned Janine just a girl earlier, and I said that, like, the fact that she has low standards, she encourages black men to live in delusion because, like, you see what type of husband she has, like a monster mash, like a monster man. And if anything happens to her, he will be moving in this life as if he actually has something to offer, and he doesn't. It's just that you managed to find idiot, an idiota, an idiot lady that had no self-esteem, that was willing to accept you. And I find that a lot of times when you have black men that have been allowed to live in delusion with the encouragement of the black woman in their life, those are the ones that get the most violent because they've never had any pushback. So I mean, I don't think I don't want you to think it's like for me to save black men for the heck of saving them. I think that it will help them to maybe not have such a visceral reaction to being, informed that they really have no worth or value. It's just like when I said, like, DJ Academics, how he was on this live stream talking about Halle Bailey and talking about her body and talking about the way she looked and talking about how these other women look better than her and all the computer, his keyboard. And it's just like, what will make you feel like you as a man could sit there and tear this lady's looks apart or her body apart when you look a hot mess? But I really do feel like women have encouraged him to live in delusion to where maybe he's not even aware of actually how repulsive he is, because, there are women still willing to entertain him for money and, clout or whatever other reasons why they're interested in, talking to that overweight Mickey Mouse man. But, that's all I'm saying. But it's not rooted in me really trying to, assist men in any manner. I just hope that by a low key assisting them live in reality, that it could actually help black women at the same time, if that makes sense or whatever. But I definitely understand where you come from.
No, listen, I agree. I was just of the. I actually put that as my story today. I feel like a lot of us need to start telling these men the truth. Like, I know oftentimes their mothers coddled them, and we just go along with the story. But We have to start being truthful. Like I saw a post, I posted it on my story. I saw a post the other day that said if women can't wake up at 2 a.m. to make a sandwich, then men shouldn't get up at 2 a.m. when a burglar comes in. And I just find it so annoying because number one, these scenarios, you can tell these men don't protect because they come up with scenarios that don't happen. Like we can tell y'all don't protect anybody. First of all, they're not burglarizing your house at 2 a.m. Most burglaries happen in the daytime because people are expected to be at work and school. And then number two, y'all be so focused on making a sandwich at 2 a.m. And I had to be honest, it's because their mothers didn't do it for them. Their mothers was laid up with a man, and when they were hungry at night because the top ramen that their mother made for them wasn't enough, they had the grumbles in the middle of the night. They went in their mama's bedroom, and when they asked for a sandwich, she slapped him, told him to go eat his spit and go to bed. That's why they're so obsessed with the make me a sandwich at 2 o'clock in the morning because the mothers didn't do it. I'm telling you, a lot of the time, this stuff rolls back to the mother's dynamic. And I'm not even trying to be funny, but I'm collecting data, and this is the consensus that I'm getting. It's the truth. So, yeah.
I will tell you, I I don't know. I mean, what? Let me ask you a question, Superville. I don't know if I ever asked you this. You know, when I told you that I think it's like 50% of like black women that are still asleep that need help and all of that. Like, what percentage of those women, or if you could even give me a percentage that you think, if you don't think it's 50%, but what percentage of the women that are, allowing men to live in delusion and are doing all these things opposite of what we're saying, how many of them do you think can be helped?
Question. So I'm going to be completely transparent when I say this. I believe that, to me, a more accurate number would be 70, maybe 75, 25. 75 meaning allowing these men to be living in delusion. But out of that 75, a good 25% are covert. I believe they are masking behind a feminist or black or woman empowerment mask, but they're really not true to it. It's just something for them to do. So I'm going to say good 75, 25 mask. My thing is, and of course, it boils down to because we live in a patriarchy, right? And I definitely understand that. But a lot of us know this, but still operate in a way that isn't advantageous to women, which I don't understand. Because at the end of the day, people, I don't know how to say it without sounding weird, so I'll say it like this. I understand the equality thing with men and women. I don't feel like men and women are equal. And I feel when you treat women better, it's still advantageous to men. Men still profit from women being treated better. It does not work the profit from women being treated better. It does not work the other way around. I think a lot of women are focused on being politically correct or looking right or good instead of actually doing what's the right thing or the good thing, which isn't always the equal thing. I think that's a big hangup that has a lot of women on the fence that makes the numbers instead of 50-50, 75-25. But hopefully one day they'll get there. I want women to understand that women being treated better does not harm men. It doesn't. When women are treated better, everything, people, children, the elderly, the world, the environment literally elevates when women are treated better because of the way that we operate in the world. But for some reason, people don't understand that. For some reason, they're still like, we'll go to bed tonight. We'll be comfortable. We won't toss and turn, even though we know women and girls are being tortured, abused, and what have you right now as we speak. We're going to go to bed fine. But for some reason, I don't know, when we talk about treating women better, even if it's better or more advantageous than men, it's like call the FBI. No, we shouldn't be talking about that. No, it should be equal. So I don't know if that answers the question in a nutshell. I know I can go all over the place, but if I could say the number of women allowing men to live in delusion is definitely a good 75. And I think that's not even being too generous.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So you said 75-25. Oh man, so that means you think 75% of black women are still asleep and just You know, I can't debate and say that that's not a true, because I mean, sometimes when I see certain things, it makes me think that there's a larger problem than even I think. But if that is indeed the case, we got a lot of work to do. And I don't know, I don't see it changing to the degree that it would be. I don't know. I don't know. I think in our lifetime we'll see some changes, but I don't know if we'll see the changes that I would want to see. At least not in my lifetime. I know that it's a lot of younger girls, 18, 19, 20. You know, I'd say from maybe like when do you start really becoming aware of things? I'd say maybe from like 16 to like maybe 24. I see a lot of those young women, understanding, what's going on and not being so focused on, oh, I want to get married, or I want to, me having a man or having somebody is that means I'm worthy, but me going to school and doing what I need to do for myself is not something I should be doing. So I think there are a lot of girls that have unpacked that ideology, but I don't know about the women that are older. Oh, somebody reported my live, y'all, and I saw a man flash up here on the screen. I really did, but I was like, it's not that many people in here. But I screenshot his picture, so I'll be blocking him moving forward. But
It's only 12 people in here. Are you causing that much damage? We haven't made 20 people yet. Are they serious?
I know it's crazy. I really have men that like extremely, extremely hate me, and I for the life of me, I don't even understand why. Like, I have seen lives where there are literally black women on there with black men and they are cussing each other, calling each other all type of names. And I don't even do that unless you come over here. And I don't even I roast them, but I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know all I ever do is speak with facts. Like, I don't come up here and call black men nappy headed or ugly or anything like that. All I ever do is tell the truth. And I tell any of these men every time they come up here, like, hey, if you disagree with what I'm saying, I'll allow you to speak for 3 minutes uninterrupted. Just if you want to debate me, just make sure that you have some type of factual information and not any type of anecdotal situation where you're talking about your baby mama and how you're mad about them. I am mad at your baby mama, and that's it. But for the life of me, I don't know. I remember this was back when I had my old page. It was this guy. It's like this older black man. He's bald. He got glasses. He's kind of light skinned. He's miserable. He talks about being a passport bro. And me and him had got into it, and he had taken my picture, right? And himself roasting me. And the only thing he said is that I looked like I was a freaky schoolgirl. And then I was like, what? And after that, he proceeded to like harass me for like several weeks from multiple pages. And after that, he proceeded to like harass me for like several weeks from multiple pages. I hadn't even said anything. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had did a video on like the black men causing problems in the community, and all I did is put numbers and stats in there. Like I said, I don't know what it is about me that makes them so mad. But I know that whatever their anger to me has really affected my TikTok presence, because at first, like when I first started, I had a couple viral videos that I had like 250K on there, 100K, and like it was like a lot of people were seeing it. And then when I would go live, like I would at least have like hundreds of people in there and things like that. And they would just keep reporting, keep reporting. I would get off live and like all my videos would be reported. And like at least two or three of them would be like taken down, and I would have to appeal. And sometimes I would win the appeal, and sometimes I would fail and wouldn't get it. And they still do it to this day. Like I don't know. Like there are other black women that have said far worse. You know, I don't know. I don't know what it is about me, generally speaking, that does it. And when they do things like that, it really make me want to just really go ham, because I say a lot of things, but there are a lot of worse things that I could say about black men too, like to really drive the point home that would make them look even more terrible. But I don't even do that. Like I see them like put pictures up of like black women, holding children or with bonnets on, trying to make black women look a certain way. Y'all know I don't even play like that. I could totally put pictures of men's mugshots up here, black men dressed like thugs, and I don't even play those type of games. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just ranting at this point, but I really don't know what it is about them that makes me, well, what it is about me that makes them so upset to me. And I don't understand why they act so like feminine neither, because I don't even report. I don't even want to say feminine because I don't like using feminine in a bad way. So I'll just say I don't know why they act so petty and spiteful. I don't know. Mm.
I was gonna say I have an idea, but before that, I know I forgot what it's called, TikTok Studio or something where because your platform is really, I mean, I want it to be protected. This is like the only space that I have known on TikTok for the past couple years I've been on here where I feel like black women can be, right? We can just be us, whether we agree on stuff or not, we can all come together, respect each other, and get it off our chest. We don't have a lot of those places where we can just be us and be honest. But I think it's called TikTok Studio or something. I'll try to get the information where they help you when it comes to like appeals and the reporting and things like that. Because to be honest, this platform you've created is one in literally a million, and I'm so sad that not that many black women know about this space because they could use it. At least the ones that align with us, not like the pick who will try to take it down. But this space is so. I'm telling you, Trig. When I miss your stuff, sometimes I'm cleaning or putting dinner away. I'll go to your YouTube. You know what I mean? It's very therapeutic. It's just listening to your voice and hearing the other women speak. So this is such a space. Whatever we can do to protect it and support it. But I'm gonna say this: they definitely are jealous. I'm gonna say one thing. I feel because you are happily married. See how I threw happily in there? Because they'll just say married. Happily married for a substantial time. And you're still able to tell the truth about what's going on. And not only that, your husband isn't insecure. He can back you. Sometimes I know he used to be in the room and stuff like that. I think that's what irks their nerve because they can't be like, "Are you married?" Because you are. Well, how long you been married? Well, she's been married over a decade. Well, where's her husband? Her husband shows up in the live. It's like there's nothing, you know what I mean? All they can do at this point is report. None of the tactics that they use to try to silence black women is valid to you, and that's what makes them upset. I always say these dudes don't know how to fill out a job form, but that report form shit, they know that shit like the back of their hand. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. They definitely certainly know about that report button. And Miss Chrissy Baby said in the comments that she gets overstimulated when there's a bunch of men saying reckless things on the panel. So do I. So do I. And I would, before I started doing my own stuff, I would go to people's lives and it would be like black women would be in charge and they would let black men just say the most reckless, ignorant, disgusting things. Or it would be like some black women that would try to act like, they're on the woman's side, but you could see that they were still desperate for these ashy that they were still desperate for these ashy negroes for them to give them some type of praise and stuff like that. And I just said, you know what, I'm not going to let that happen. I just said, you know what, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to make a space strictly for black women and black women only. And of course, I allow, other, nationalities, up here, like different women, just strictly because, I feel like we're overlooked a lot and nobody definitely really cares about us. And, people try to say we don't have culture and things like that. And so I was just trying to make a space where we could really generally just be, and just for Black women to know, like, even if, other people don't center y'all, like I always will. And I will let nobody play in a Black woman's face here, period. And I just said that that's the type of environment that I wanted to curate, and I wanted to curate it strictly for Black women. You know what I'm saying? And it's so many times people will tell you, "Oh, it's for Black women," but it really ain't. It's for Black women and some other people. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it ends up being you got to tiptoe for them and their comfortability and all of these other things, and you got to watch all these buzzwords, and you got to tiptoe, but nobody tiptoes around hurting Black women. And that's another thing I really, what made me want to do this is that people always tiptoe around everybody else's feelings, how they're perceived, what they comes out of their mouth, how they want to make sure that they don't offend this group or that group or these people or that people. But when it comes to Black women, nobody cares. Don't nobody tiptoe around for Black women at all. They finna say it all, do it all, and who cares? And so I just really felt like there had to be a place. Somebody got to make a place where we could be centered here. But yeah, maybe that is what you're saying, supervillain. That is what it is. But I just know, TikTok has really frustrated me a lot because I feel like they're so blatantly like racist and sexist and misogynistic and whatever else towards me. I appeal for things, it doesn't work. But then other people's platforms are flourishing, like you got, and you have notable pick-me's that be on here saying horrible things about Black women while being a Black woman themselves, and they'll be having like thousands and thousands of views, and they'll be having like 50K 100K subscribers here on a TikTok. And I just be like, bro, you know what I'm saying? And it sometimes it made me want to give up. I think it was my second page that I had, and I had really tried my best to build it up. And I was going at these men, and that's when I used to like just how I roast the dudes in the lives. Like when I would make videos and they would say stupid comments, I would just do a stitch and get their pictures. And sometimes I would go deep dive and find them. Sometimes I would literally go in these men's following lists and see who they were following and see if they shared like any of the same last name or any of the same. And I would be so successful because I'm such a good researcher at finding these men. I would sometimes bring up Facebook pictures, Instagram posts that they didn't even know that I would even be able to find. And I would take them and tear them up. I would roast them so bad. And sometimes it would be cool. People would think it was funny and I'd get a lot of views on it. And then people would just report on I guess I'm not supposed to be doing that though. But people will report me.
Segment for the podcast. Shoot.
People will report me so bad. But it would make me mad because I would just be like, why in the world do y'all think that y'all can come up on my page and say something crazy to me, and then you think that I can't come to your page and say something to you? And that's my whole thing, is that I don't just come at Black men or men in general that ain't doing nothing. It's the ones that say something or ignorant that I come at. That's how it is all the time. It's like you think you're going to come on my page, you're going to talk crazy to the ladies on the panel, you're going to talk crazy to me, or you're going to be in the chat and say something, and you think that that's just going to go without being checked. And that's what I feel like Black men really aren't used to. They not used to somebody like directly challenging them. They just used to being able to do whatever BS that they want to and able to get it off. And for me, you're not getting nothing off. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting nothing off. If I go and I click on your page and you ugly, I'm talking about it. I'm finna say you ugly. I go on your page, you badly built, I'm finna talk about it. I go on your page, you ain't got no hair, I'm finna talk about it. Like I go to your page, your hairline jacked up and you got like a straggly beard, I'm finna talk about it. I go over there and you got mugshot, you a criminal, I'm finna talk about it because As much as they say that they like, which black men try to humble black women do not humble black men at all. They don't. They do not humble them the way they need to be humbled. And that's my whole thing. I be wanting to do that. Cause it's like you must have never had nobody really tell you about yourself. That's exactly why I say DJ Academics, because he's a perfect example of that's exactly why I say DJ Academics, because he's a perfect example of that. Because there's no way that Tuballard cannot sit there and look in the mirror and be like, wow, you know what? I'm not a guy that women really like. I'm not a guy that women are attracted to, but I have a platform and I have money. So there are women that are willing to entertain me because I'm going to pay for them to go on a trip, and they're willing to entertain me because I'm about to buy them a bag and give them some money. You know, but he's in delusion that he's actually somebody. I saw a video where he was yelling at some girl that he's the prize. And that right there is a man that hasn't been humbled the way that he needs to be. He has not had a woman that maybe he's attracted to, or maybe he's not attracted to her, but he hasn't had a woman sit there and verbally eviscerate him the way he needs to, you know? And I really believe that there are some men that really genuinely need to be torn apart, to really, really, really be broken down. Because ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way, boy, that these men, the way they look, be coming in my page talking crazy, talking about you ain't got no man, you ain't got no lady. So what are you talking about? You don't have a girlfriend. When is the last time that you got some vagina that you didn't have to pay $45 for? Huh? Probably not in the last 15, 20 years. Okay? Like, that's my thing, is just like, I don't know. I just really believe that there are just so many men that are like really freaking delusional, like, and really need somebody to tell them about themselves. And contrary to what any of these men want to think about me, I'm not ugly. And even if you think I'm ugly, and even if you think I'm ugly, I don't care. That's still not gonna stop me from saying whatever it is that I want to say about you. So it's just like, I don't know. I just think more women need to do more of that. But I understand that because men are, violent and aggressive and unhinged, and especially when it comes to black men, poor emotional regulation. They're not even thinking about their future. They're only thinking about, what's going on in the moment. So the next thing you know, he been and unalived you if you said this to his face. But I feel like if you're online and you're in the comfort and the safety of your home, there should be no reason why you don't tear these men apart that you come across on social media. Like, I think it's, what is it? What do they call it? Reach one, teach one. I believe that's what needs to be done to black men specifically, and really all men. But I really don't care about other communities, because that's their business. If you know what I'm saying. So I just feel like black men specifically really need to come off of this fake pedestal that some mammies have put them on. Like, I can tell you that in my life, I have met like very, very few honorable black men, very few black men that really loved black women, that protected black women, that really, I very, very few on one hand. And I not even using all the hands on the fingers on my one hand. And I think that black men hide behind this thing that it's not all of them, but the culture that is curated for black men that they are raised up on is the disrespect of the black woman. That's what they're raised up on. That's the reason why the mainstream music that attracts black men the most is filled with degradation and disrespect towards women, and more specifically towards black women. That's what these Negroes be on. Disrespect. And not to mention the movies. Y'all already know all the things that are fed to the black community. So it's like, exactly what do you think all of these young men and young boys that are being raised up, what they're feeding their minds with? You think that the black community has fostered an environment where the men that are being raised up are going to actually respect black women and respect their mothers and daughters and sisters and girls that they're trying to talk to? No, they're not. All they are taught to is to use black women for whatever they can. to use them and take, and a black woman is supposed to be happy being taken from and not ask them for anything other than dick, which is actually disgusting, you know? And if it's like their mother, that their mother is just supposed to give and give and give and give and give and not even receive that. You just, because it's a, mother-daughter, mother-son relationship, she just supposed to do it forever for nothing, for not even a penny. I don't know. I think I said this before, but I remember being a teenager. I don't even know if I was a teenager. I think I was probably like 12 or 13. And I remember my mom talking to one of her friends. They were both married to black men. And they were saying how black men always think black men. And they were saying how black men always think somebody's playing with them. And how black men, treat black women like they just supposed to do whatever they want to them. And keep in mind, these are two married black women that my dad and her and my dad and the lady that my mom was talking to, they were best friends. So yes, they were saying that. And that was like, and I just remember they were talking about it so passionately and stuff. And it's still stuck in my head to this day, but it just lets me know that it's like nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. That's the same way that things are now. The exact same way. And I think a lot of what's going on right now too is that some black men are calling black women's bluff. You know? And seeing what black women are going to do. Are black women really going to walk away? Are black women really going to open their horizons and entertain other men? What are black women going to do? And some black women are doing what they need to do, which is, showing, improving. And some black women are failing miserably. I sat there and watched a TikTok story time today of a black woman that had been getting beat by her boyfriend for like a long time. While she was talking, she had a black eye that was bloody, like her, what is it? The whites of her eyes, her cornea was bloody or whatever. And, which was horrible. And she was saying how like the security had let him up into her apartment or something like that. And he was doing all of these things to her. And I was like, wow, and then I go look and it's a black man. If he wasn't black, he was biracial. One of the two, but he looked like a light-skinned black man, but he could have been biracial, possibly just because he was so light-skinned, I don't know. I don't know if y'all saw that TikTok already, but it's just like every time I see some of the most horrific acts of violence, and black women are, crying out and they're going through all of these things, I find out it's a black man. You know what I'm saying? And it happens all the time. But for some reason, it's like black men want to live in this delusion that it's a flex to be with them. It's a flex to be married to them. Oh, if you don't have one of us, oh, you gonna die. You gonna them. Oh, if you don't have one of us, oh, you gonna die. You gonna be unalived alone. Like, do y'all not know what y'all really be on? Like I told my husband legitimately, I said, you are the only reason why I haven't gone completely off the deep end and I don't just get in my lives and say, all men, and I don't even use the word collective. I said, you're the only reason. I said, because if you exist, and that means somebody else do too. And so I'll be in this world as needles in haystacks, that I'll use the word collective. But other than that, like I really my what is it called? My interactions and associations with men have very rarely been positive. Associations with men have very rarely been positive. And I mean that from a family standpoint, like uncles, not uncles, excuse me. What is it? My dad, nephews, or not what I haven't talked to my family in so long. I done forgot the family. Somebody still report me, y'all. Y'all know this? Somebody is still reporting me right now, which is crazy. What was I saying? My associations with men have not been good. Even family relations, like my cousins, my dad, my grandparents, my grandfathers on both sides. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is, I y'all, like, I'm really tripping. I'm really tripping right now. Y'all just don't even know. Like, I'm legitimately tripping about this. These reports right here, the reports that I had been getting where it said that like it was restricting, put my live in the like, I guess the FYP or whatever. It had stopped once I went through and just blocked all of the recent people that started following me. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go through and look and block people again, because that's just like I said, it's 18 people in here. What the fuck is you reporting me for, bro? Like, if you don't want to hear my voice, why are you lurking and listening to the live? That is weird. Like, do you know, whoever you are, if you're listening to me, you're a stalker. You're a stalker and you're a psychopath. And you may think that you hate me, but you actually love me. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't sit here and listen to my voice only to try to report me. That is weird. I don't like a whole lot of people on here. And you know what I've done with them? I've blocked them so that I don't have to see them ever again. I don't like Dana Dane. I think that Dana Dane is full of crap. I think she's a blowhard. I think she's a pick me. She tries to act like she's so hard and that she don't care, but she desperately want a man so badly that she don't know what to do with herself. You know what I'm saying? She's a super pick me. I blocked that lady because I cannot stand to see her face and hear her voice. She literally makes my stomach turn and my skin crawl. She seemed like, have y'all ever seen Handmaid's Tale? She just seemed like the type of woman. Have y'all ever seen Handmaid's Tale? She just seemed like the type of woman that will hold your arms like the ladies did in Handmaid's Tale. You know, when they was holding the ladies, what is it, their arms and legs and whatnot?
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yes. She gives me that vibe that she would do that. I really do not like her. I think she's a bird too, 200 Maya. I can't stand her. And I think what I really don't like is just like Dave Chappelle said about Candace Owens, I don't like articulate idiots. I don't like people that can speak like they're intelligent, but they are so freaking stupid. Because when people talk like they have some type of intellect, but the things that they say are very dangerous, those are people that you just gotta stay away from, because they're always gonna get a fan base of people that believe them simply because they sound like they know what they're talking about. But yeah, I can't stand her. All I was saying is, to whoever my stalker is in here, I don't understand you, and I don't know why you keep coming to all my pages to report me. What is wrong with you? Like, you're literally a weirdo. Like, block me, man. Block me. You know what I'm saying? Block me. Miss Chrissy baby, you said you saw the interview with the racist YT podcaster. She was gagged. No. Tell me what you talking about, Miss Chrissy baby. Cause no, I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on, I'm about to let you up.
It was
Hey, sis.
hey Trigger, hi super villain, how you doing? She was on an interview with I think it's Nick Fuentes. He's kind of has like a white tea supremacy type podcast type stuff, and she's on that side of the aisle, and I guess she thought the interview was going to be different or aligned, but he was pretty much saying black people are pretty much subhuman. Without white people or white tea people, black people wouldn't have modern society. There was no buildings and blah blah, really old archaic views of black people. And of course it's not funny, but it was funny because she was just sitting there like, cause I'm like, girl, he talking about you, girl. He talking about you. She didn't really have any much combats because she was just sitting there gagged.
Oh, That's crazy. I have heard of Nick Fuentes, but that's her fault for going on there because I have heard that he is, but that's her fault for going on there because I have heard that he is extremely racist. And that's what she get like for even entertaining a man like that. Cause I know me personally, the only way I would even show up for something like that is to punch him in the throat and then leave. Like I would never ever. I just can't understand why I have to explain my humanity to somebody that doesn't believe in washing their lower half of their body. That believes that just letting the water run down their legs is good enough. Like, why would I, talk to anybody that lets their dog lick them in the mouth? Like, or has difficulty with understanding why they should wash their hands after they take a number two. Personally, it make me look stupid to even go back and forth with you about humanity when literally the most inhumane things that have happened in history have happened at the hands of white people. Even the most nastiest plagues and the what is it, bubonic? Is that how you pronounce it? Bubonic plague. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, has occurred because of their filthiness and nastiness and aversion to soap and water. So it's like, what I look like talking to y'all about anything? Like, be for real. You don't even believe in washing your chicken. Like, get
Can I
out of here.
say that's why really, it irks my nerves, the whole obsession with proximity to whiteness. Like, I just really don't understand. I really try to sit down and dissect it, and I don't get it. Why are y'all so obsessed with being so close or standard of white people? I'm just they, like you said, have done the most inhumane things in history. They're very vile, especially with black people. That whole cookout thing that gets on my nerves so bad, Trick, because these people ate our ancestors, and y'all inviting them to a cookout because they could dance or something. And they can't
Yeah.
even really dance. They just catch the one and the two, and we're so surprised. I mean, they catch the one and the three, and we be so surprised because they're usually on the two and the four. I'm like, why do y'all do that? I will never understand the obsession to white tea proximity, especially because I love being blackity black. Like, I love being over on this side, so I don't know. That has always been perplexed to me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that that is probably one of my biggest things. Y'all remember I told you I had a friend on here that I met here on TikTok and we started talking offline and she got mad at me because I of what I a comment that I made about white tea people, and she's married to a white tea man, and she said that she thought that I'm against her and I'm against her biracial daughter because I said that I personally wouldn't entertain a white tea man. But I'll just say I believe in black women dating out. I really do. And I've said it a million times. But I will say respectfully, I just think that if black women are gonna date out, that they should just leave them alone. I don't know. It's just something about them specifically that I just am very off put by. Just the historical context, how they behave now, how the reason why the fact of STDs being in the world is because of them and their refusal to leave animals alone and stop having intercourse and touching on animals. I just I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Not everything that they have done and can't do it. I just can't do it. Not everything that they have done and everything that they continue to do. I can't see myself ever entertaining one of them. Like if I was single or something like that. I'm just of the thing. If he can't use your comb, just don't bring him home. And it could be somebody else of another race, but just not them. I don't know. It's just something about them. I'm not about to go back and forth with you why you should be using this wash rag. I'm not about to go back and forth with you, see you in the shower and you just letting the water run down. I'm not going to go back and forth with you telling you that you should use one of the squirt bottles, with the water in it after you poop or wipes, one of the two. I'm not about to be going back and forth with you about why you said that you want to cook, but you ain't rinse off the chicken. You know what I'm saying? You ain't clean it. You're not cleaning our vegetables. You're not cleaning our fruits. Like you just popping them, the grapes in your mouth and you not soaking them in baking soda, like, for about 10, 15 minutes. I'm just not about to go through none of that. I'm not about to go through none of that, 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 and I'm definitely not going to like what happens when, it's a special event, somebody graduated or somebody got an anniversary or something like that. And I go to your house and you ain't got no good food. You ain't got no greens. You ain't got no mac and cheese. You ain't got no chicken. You ain't. And even let's say I'm messing with a white tea Hispanic. There ain't no enchiladas there. It ain't no birria. You know what I'm saying? Or if I go to a Asian person's house, y'all don't have like no lo mein, whatever cultural dishes are for Asian people. I just but if I get with a white tea man, all I'm getting is potato salad with some raisins in it. No, there are way more cultures that Black women could delve and dive in besides the unseasoned. But that's just my opinion. I'm only saying this because there's not that many people in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm only saying that because it's not that many people in here, but that is my real thoughts. But I don't really say my real thoughts all the time because I don't want to be, offensive to anyone. But I would say all the time I'm here for interracial dating for Black women, for everyone, for them to entertain everyone except white tea people. Everybody else, cool, do it. But them, no.
I
I
mean,
couldn't.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if you heard about that app, T app, and all that stuff like that. I be, scrolling through. It seemed like all men are really diabolical. Some of them stories be like, girl, like,
Yes. You
girl,
need, I'm gonna
what?
tell you, I saw a story of a woman that said that she had been with her husband since she had been like, I think she'd been like a teenager, and she helped him build up his construction business, and she worked for him for years doing everything. And except like the actual construction part. That man decided to leave her for a woman that was half her age and left her with nothing.
I saw
Now
that
she
she
was
was like
on
on
food
food
stamps.
stamps. Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, these dudes is, I don't
The white
know.
men be diabolical. They be saying that the white men be having a lot of access to like, the court and stuff and be taking their side. So like as a Black woman, because that happened to a white woman. So as a Black woman, you messing with them, you really, if they decide to weaponize their whiteness, you are screwed.
I think the difference is, and I mean, I don't think Black men like going to court. I think they not telling.
Mm.
I don't think they tell the truth and they be like, the court system be against us being the father to our child, or the court system going to not believe me, because most times when a woman protect themselves in DV cases, the woman is going to jail, like, or they're both going to jail. There's never like a damsel in distress situation for a Black woman. I think that's why our femicide rates are so high, and probably both parties don't involve the police because that's in our culture, not to snitch, air quote. But I think because culturally nobody want to get the courts or the police involved, I think Black men probably pew pew themselves in the foot, because if they actually went to court and did stuff and stayed on it and filled out paperwork, they probably could do the same things, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it definitely makes sense because they say that like when men go for custody, a lot of times there's a high percentage of the fact that they do get custody when they
Hmm.
actually do this. But they be lazy.
Hmm.
They be lazy, so they don't do a lot. And I think a lot of times they don't want to because they don't want the responsibility. They just want to weaponize it and scare the woman. But yeah, I
Right.
think so too. I think the court systems favor men more. It's just that men are lazy and trifling and don't utilize it. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. But
Because in my job, I know a lot of women that are air traffic controllers too, and when their ex-husbands go to court and they both have jobs, the husband get custody. Sometimes they get spousal support. So the courts, it is a patriarchy. I don't think they understand that either. But I think again, there might be a literacy issue. But I've seen it to where the men is not screwed over at all.
oh yeah, you said a literacy issue. I see you trying to be shady, Miss Prissy baby.
It do. I think they don't be going to court. My dad didn't go to, like, he didn't do anything. He didn't go to court. I mean, I think back then, like, all his ex-wives and my mom, like, filed papers on him, but he didn't fight them. He just complained, no, your mom kicked me away. Your mom kicked, I'm like, man, I can't say that word, but I'm like, no, you didn't go to court. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I know when I divorced my first husband, I went and did the whole divorce pro se. I did it myself. He said that he was trying to fight the divorce or whatever, but he was just too stupid to even know exactly what was going on.
Real, no, for real, like for real. They don't want to do the paperwork. I'm like, so I got to do it because it's annoying. I don't know how your state is, but it's a lot of paper. Like divorce, I wouldn't. The only reason why I probably would never get married again is because the amount of paperwork and the divorce stuff is insane, and he probably couldn't read the first page. So, yeah,
Yeah, they be real slow, but sometimes it'll work to your advantage. Like,
and did.
because I know I will never forget when I filed that paperwork, and then I had to go up there for the judge, and he went and stamped the papers, that I was divorced and everything. Like later on that day, my ex-husband had called. He was like, "So are we divorced? Are we divorced? You didn't go up there, did you?" I said, "Absolutely, I did, and we are divorced." And I hung up, man. I was like, thank goodness, I'm free,
Yeah,
free.
set us free. No, but I was trying to read the prompt, but I don't have my glasses on.
It
What was it?
really,
After these niggas, like, what does it say?
it really wasn't anything, to be honest with you. I was just irritated because I saw this live where men were talking about how they not marrying black women no more, and just making it like black women benefit so much from being married to them. So the topic was is that, well, I put in the live in a live box that single men don't have any value, and then at the top of this it says men benefit from marriage way more than women.
I'm confused. Just from my historical reference, I thought maybe 30%, a little over 30% of black men even get married. I didn't think we were the culture of marriage. So I'm just baffled within the past couple years. That's been a topic, marriage material, when that's not even a norm. They don't get married.
I agree. I don't know. And I always thought that was weird too, because the least married race of man, it seems to be hyper focused on marriage, but I think that it's only to weaponize it against black women, to make black women feel bad. Yeah. Even though it doesn't matter if you are a black woman, that you do everything that they want you to do. If you cook, clean, serve him, act like he's your king, get on your hands and knees, he's still not going to marry you, statistically speaking. So it's like they just be saying stuff. I think they want women to do a whole lot of labor for them, with the hopes that one day they'll get married, but they
Right.
know they're not going to marry her.
Because this whole traditional values and stuff like that, like, you don't, collectively they don't hold those values because they're not known to get married. They're known to have putting babies in women, but marriage is not culturally something that you see in abundance within the black community in the first place.
I agree. And I've noticed that if you're like a marriage minded black man, more than likely you the whole family of the males are, or if he doesn't have like a lot of like male relatives, and the men that he associates with are, and then the ones that aren't, they all congregate together as well, because I know my husband, like all his brothers are married. So like they value that or whatever, for whatever reason. But you know, I know other men that none of the family is married. And I think that's how it goes from what I've seen anyway. They either are on it or they're not. And normally it's like either all their family members or all the people that they're associated with.
Right. I mean, I was Kojic, so like everyone in my community, I mean, nobody's married now because we got married so young. But you probably, I think we talked about this before, like just for like super duper religious reasons. But that's the only men that I know that's willing to get married. I don't see it like, or the black men I don't see it like, or the black men I do know from my job in the military, they're married to white women. So like, I don't see them marrying black women like that.
Yeah, I mean it's low, and that's why I get irritated when well, because see, my husband now, he's he's not. I don't feel like when I don't know. I don't feel like his purposes of being married was for religious purposes. But I will say my previous husband, he just was no good. Now I got married for religious purposes, but I don't feel like he did. But
Yeah.
I think that when people talk about marriage, when it comes to like black people in the black community, there'll be people that'll bring up and be like, hey, well, black men, they're marrying black women the most. But if you talk about the most, you're talking about the most out of an already small percentage. So
Right.
that's like kind of disingenuous.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, in my opinion, and it might be really strict, but I think we should practice abstinence. I think the one thing that men probably think is contradictory, because I'll see it in the comments like, yeah, but you still gonna let us hit. You know what I'm saying? I'll see that type of stuff in some content creators like things or whatever, and I think it's just too dangerous to even deal with men right now. Just look at what's going on as far as the men right now. Just look at what's going on as far as the body counts, and the diseases, and I mean a whole your mental health, everything. I personally think being abstinent, and I don't, I'm celibate, and they might try for like a couple weeks, and then they're like, oh, she dead serious, and then move on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then move on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's number one on there. It on the topic that is so weird that you said that it's just right there. If you're not married, you should be abstinent, and I really do believe that. And I think you do weed out a whole lot of men that, and you will see their true colors for real, for real. I remember when I was dating, I had went on a date. I went on a couple dates with this dude. And then, he was cool or whatever. I didn't have any problems with him, issues with him. He was cool. He met my qualifications as far as looks wise and heights wise, but I didn't know his personality totally yet, but he seemed to be cool. So our third day, I went to his house, but keep in mind this was back in the day. This is probably not intelligent by any means to do at this day and age, but we were just supposed to like watch a movie or whatever. We did watch a movie. He did try to see if I was going to do something with him, and I told him no. And he told me that I had to go. Okay, he told me to get out, and I was like, "You serious?" He was like, "Yes. If you're not willing to do anything with me, you got to go." I said, "Cool," because I'm not doing nothing. Do you know after I got home? Because I guess maybe he hadn't been used to women or girls. You know what I mean? Well, I was a woman. Women saying, "Hey, no, I'm not doing anything." He left me all of these messages, apologizing. Telling me that he don't know what got into him, and that he had already exposed himself at that time because
Right.
I had told him, I said, if you told me to get out, because of you wasn't getting any, you coming back and doubling back and telling me you're sorry, it's only because you hope that if you do this and you can stick around longer that you can get some. That man
Right.
ended up showing his true colors, like it even worse after that. It was really crazy. It was a crazy scenario that happened so long ago. But I definitely think, well, I just say all of that to say that absolutely you with abstaining and not putting your vagina on the table definitely will expose men that don't mean you any good, for
But do
sure.
you think that most men ultimately want that? So if you're committing to abstinence, you might as well commit to being single, if that makes sense.
I think if you, because I know when I got married to my second husband, I told him that we wasn't doing anything, and I told him, I said, I'm serious. I'm abstinent until I get married, and you have to see me for who I am, and you can accept that or not. But either way, no. He told me cool. He didn't have a problem with it, but I think that the reason why he didn't have a problem with it is because he was genuinely looking for somebody
Mhm.
for like to be with somebody. So I think that the only men that will accept that are men that are genuinely looking for somebody, and they may genuinely see something in you that they really, really like. But other than that, I think, yeah, you won't find anybody. But I think that will be better because it will protect you from the people that only are there to use you.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, but I will say, when I tell people about that, I want people to understand that there's plenty of dudes that told me bye, 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 and I was like, cool.
Like Trigger, when I say I know some beautiful, beautiful, I'm not even over exaggerating, beautiful women with good careers, good head on their shoulders. Some of them are my age and child free or whatever, that are practicing abstinence. Really don't really want quote wife materials or a woman or a companion or a best friend. Like ultimately, you guys are even willing to give a ring or do whatever just to get the cat. Like y'all really don't even view women as humans. And that for me, it just cements for me, like, I don't want to say all men, but I think they only want Gucci. Most of them.
I mean, I can't debate that with you, sis, because you have a point, like you do. Because like I said, I don't very rarely talk about like my dating, my dating experience and stuff like that because it was so long ago. But I will say anything that I say that women should do, I did do it myself. And I will say that it was a lot of dudes that did tell me no, like they wasn't gonna talk to me, or it was dudes that acted like they was trying to get to know me and then still try something later,
Yeah.
you know. And that happened a lot too. I remember it was one dude that I really liked. I thought he was really cool, really intelligent guy, had a good job, had a nice place to stay, had a nice vehicle. He had two nice vehicles, and he had took me to, like, we had went to some like club or whatever, and then we had went to some bar afterward, and then he had took me to Denny's because that was the only thing that was open because we was out so late. And he was sitting in front of my house because we had went on several days at this point. It was a lot. I think probably maybe with him, it was probably like maybe 6 or 7 dates, but it was a few. He tried to make a move on me in the car, and I was like, no. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious about what I'm saying. He was like, yeah, we've been drinking. Like, you ain't feeling a little. I was like, yeah, I'm feeling a little tipsy, but I'm not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I probably had messed up because I did kiss him. I kissed him, so I guess that made him feel like he had a chance at
Right.
more, but he didn't. Um, and then he asked me, did I want to give him some, I said,
Hell
sir,
no.
are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? I said, you know what? I'm about to get out the car. He was like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm sorry. I stopped talking to him. And I actually really liked him. I thought he was cool. I mean, it's happened to me a lot. So it's just like, I think that I would tell any woman that was on the journey of like abstinence, if she did, but if she still had maybe a hope that she may one day run across a man that she really liked, that would be willing to respect that. I would just say that, like, it's it's a crazy game to play because the majority of men are going to play. And I would say this is when I was dating. This was back in the day. And I would say this is when I was dating. This was back in the online days. Because I am extremely, I guess I would say I'm more extroverted being online, but in person I'm a very introverted person. So the me dating people online was the best for me because oftentimes, men wouldn't approach me out because maybe they thought that I was unapproachable, that I wouldn't talk to them, or maybe I just looked awkward. But I went on a lot of dates with men online. Like Black Planet was where I was dating a lot of dudes
Dang,
off
that's back
of.
in the day.
Yes, back in the day, it was Black Planet. That's where I was talking to dudes at and going on. I went on so many dates with so many different dudes off of Black Planet. I can't even tell you, it was so many.
Black Planet.
And like I said, it would either be like date two was when men really tried it with me. And that was normally when most of my dates, it would fizzle out after that once they realized that I was serious about no intercourse. And I would say, and even with my husband I'm married to now, I met him online too. I met him
Okay.
in it was a guy when I was on Facebook, right? It was a guy that was on Facebook. He liked me. I knew he liked me, but I didn't like him because he just wasn't my type physically. He sent me a request to a Facebook group, and my husband was in that group. He was always in there, like he was in there, like he would be in there talking to everybody. He would be making these posts, and he would be talking about like he was this like good man and all of this other stuff. And I actually just lurked and like watched his posts for like, I think it was like 2 or 3 months. And I was like, boy, this Negro, this Nick, he full of it. Like he swear he like sometimes he probably ain't just like the rest of these niggas out here. Oops, sorry about these men out here. And I was like, and I remember, I will never forget it. I had commented under one of his posts, and I said, it was in a group, and I said, "You swear you like this good man? You probably ain't no good." That is exactly what I said to him, and he said, "Well, come out with me and come see." And that was pretty much a wrap.
Was you
After we got
scared?
together.
Because I'm tall, so like for me, meeting somebody online was always when it was popping. That was a dump. I wouldn't suggest online dating, but
You said
um,
tall?
yeah, I'm
Oh, Miss
tall.
Chrissy, I'm 5'11".
Okay, I'm 5'10" and a half. Okay,
Yes, I'm very tall as well. I know I asked men their height. I was like,
okay,
yeah, I need you to be, taller than me. So you need to at least be bare minimum 6 feet, but preferably taller than that. So
yeah.
I've never been made any bones about making a man feel any type of way about his height, because it is what it is. That's just something for me personally. Height is just something that I
If
cannot.
they're shorter than you,
Yeah, I
my
can't do
ex
it.
was shorter. Demons, leprechauns. They say, "Oh, I don't mind a talk. Let's talk all that," but their insecurity always
Yes, I can't
pop
do it.
out.
I can't do it. I dated a short man one time, and he had the audacity to tell me that I needed to wear flats moving forward
Yep,
because I
yep,
made him feel too short. And I was like, oh, okay, no, this isn't for me.
yep.
And I said, never again, never again. But
Mhm.
yeah, you know what? It's crazy because like I had already dated so many dudes online. I really didn't have any fear, and I know that that was still, when I met him. Okay, so we about to be married 16 years this year, so that was like 16 plus years ago. I would say I know it was bad back then, but it's not. It wasn't as bad as it is now. So I don't feel like
I think it was
I
safer
didn't.
back then. I think it was a little because everyone had a little better intentions than they do now.
Yeah. So I didn't, and besides, any of the guys that I ever went out with, I had met them in a public place. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So me and him were gonna meet in a public place. We're gonna meet at a restaurant. So we were driving. We were driving. He was driving. I was driving separately. So I didn't have any fear about it because our first date was at a restaurant. So yeah. And besides, then we had talked a lot. We started talking a lot online before we even did that. After that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just for the longest as we were getting to know each other, he was so different and so intentional that I actually tried to push him away so many times because I was just like, are you really, you know how it is. Like if you haven't really experienced someone that had any good intentions, I don't even think I really had met anyone that was like a man that had a penis, okay, that was really a decent human being. So I really thought he was like on some other so it took him a long time for me to even believe anything that he was saying, to be
I
honest
think
with you.
Gabrielle is requesting up.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, no problem. But yeah, so I mean,
How
I'll
does
just
he
say
feel
that.
about you doing this type of content? Like, does he sometimes be like, "Dang, you going in on men," or?
No, he just be saying that, that he understands.
Mm,
I remember like when Kevin Samuels, right, first started like really making crazy content. And I started seeing it, and I started seeing how it was affecting Black women. That's what really made me be like, man, I'm about to really, make a platform about this. And so I remember telling him about it. And he was like, is it really that bad though? Like, are Black men really treating Black women in this manner? And I told him, I said, yes. And he's a person that has to have, like, he researches everything. He's looking for numbers. He's looking for facts. He's looking for stats. If somebody says something that he thinks is not right, he's trying to find a way to debunk it and all of these things. And so I told him, I said, yeah. And he was like, well, I'm going to do some research on it. And so I said, cool, you do some research on it. And then I also had sent him like these groups that I had found, these Kevin Samuels groups that I started lurking in on Facebook, where they would say the most horrific things about Black women. They would advocate for unalivings of Black women, rape of
mm,
Black women. They would post articles of Black women that had lost their lives and make fun of
mm.
Black women. They would post articles of Black women that had lost their lives and make fun of them and all of these type of things. And so I started sending him these things and showing him these things. And he started doing his own research and he was like, oh my goodness. He was like, no, he started doing his own research and he was like, oh my goodness. He was like, no, this is a serious problem. Like, if you think that you can help Black women by doing what you're doing, you should. And he was like, I'll try what I can do as well. but he's not a type of guy that really laid back type of person. So so he's not gonna be as open as me, like doing all this social media stuff. But he tried when he can. But yeah, he just after he saw a lot of that, and that was so many years ago. That was like when Kevin Samuels first started popping.
Yeah.
He saw that, he was like, do it. Like when my pages had got shut down, he was in there like because it was like my second page when it got shut down by all of these dudes. I was so upset. Like I'm not a person that really cries or anything. I was at home, I was crying, I was so upset. I remember he just came in the bedroom, he helped me, he was like, it's all right. It's all right. You gonna get your page back. You gonna go at these men even harder, and they gonna be mad, and you gonna do it. You gonna do it. And and after that, I just really tried my best. Like he really, really pushed me to do it though. So no, like he really he be pushing me to do it.
You know what really hurt me about the Kevin Samuels thing? This is a real, because I'm like you. I don't like crying or showing any vulnerability, but like it was when he was popping. Maybe like it started getting really like maybe the first year of COVID or right before, and um, it was at work and they were playing like the YouTube clips of it, and I walked in the kitchen or the break room or whatever, and there was, you know, YT men, you know, a Mexican man, like, you know, different races, and they were all laughing at him humiliating this black woman or black women and all these multiple clips. And, you know, I'm the only black woman at my job, by the way. And, you know, I left and I kind of got a little, you know, emotional because, you know, I was just like, it was just so cruel. I think Tommy Sotomayor, it was all like, it was just really popping on YouTube back then, and everyone just thought it was comedic or whatever. And And I kind of felt sad because I'm like, dang, nobody's even considering that I am a black woman listening to this. And this is, you know what I mean? And I felt like a level of betrayal from black men because I'm like, y'all cool with a bunch of YT men laughing at this for comedic value. And after that, something just turned ice to me, and I have like no tolerance for men, like literally at all after that, because it was bad. I don't know if you remember those those YouTube days, but it was bad.
Yes, I definitely remember. I remember those YouTube days. I used to follow Cynthia G back then, back when she was like, she'll call herself, say that she was a black male worshiper back then. Even though I don't know if she was a black male worshiper, I just think that she had a lot of faith in black men still. But I used to follow her back then, and I remember how all those black men used to attack her and talk about her looks, her hair, and just tear her to pieces for no reason. And I'll say, even with me, like when I had my first page, I made it like a pro black page. But once I realized that black men really didn't care, that's when I started, doing just pro black woman content instead. And I think that really, frankly, every black woman that comes to this like awareness has like a moment where she's just like, wow, like these black men really genuinely don't care. Like, and they will let us be humiliated and dogged out by anybody, because just like you said that these white men was laughing and the black men were cool with it. Think about if you saw a whole bunch of white women laughing at a black man, you probably wouldn't do that, because you would feel like what they were doing about the black men was also including you in it. Because black women tend to think about the black community in a way that black men don't. They act like they're like a separate entity. Like somebody can call you an N-word with the hard R, but for some reason it doesn't apply to them too. And that type of insanity that I see in the collective of black men is very, very weird and strange. And no matter how many black women I talk to that give me their experiences, it always is on par with that whole personality trait that is really ingrained in the majority of them. And like so many people, that some people talk about is spiritual, some people talk about witchcraft, some people talk about, epigenetics. Like it's a whole bunch of different, reasons that black women have thrown at me, for what they think the reason is. But for whatever reason, whatever people agree with, I'll just say it's something inside black men that is not present in black women. Because I don't know very many black women that would key with white women that were talking about black men. They wouldn't. They'd be like, "What y'all doing?" Like, like,
Probably in a fist fight. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And you see what I'm saying? Like I said that, and I just knew that you would think
Yeah.
that, because I think that that's what most black women do. And it's like I said, it's just some type of, like more respect for the culture that we have that they don't. And that's
And
so
the
weird.
George Floyd stuff was happening simultaneously. That was the sick part. I was just like, wow, that's cool. Is y'all cool?
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, and 200 Maya in the comments said a black woman would at least walk away from the convo. And I agree. I agree. That's exactly, if you didn't even say nothing, you at least would walk away. You definitely wouldn't make them feel like they could go back and forth with you, like about it, like for sure. But I mean, I don't know. But back to the what we were talking about, about abstinence and stuff, Miss Chrissy, baby. I think that um it's a good practice to do. Of course, I think it's the only practice that you should do, but I do think that it's kind of like, when people decide that they want to be an actress, how they, or an actor, that they got to prepare themselves to get way more no's than yeses. I think it's the same way if you are still trying to date and you are, abstinent, that you got to just prepare to get way more no's than abstinent, that you got to just prepare to get way more no's than yeses, because like I said, that happened to me. Like there were a lot of guys that wanted to talk to me because they thought I was attractive, but soon as they saw that the draws was not part of the deal, they was
But I
like,
mean,
no.
that's been like basically my whole life because I'm not religious now. I respect everybody's beliefs or whatever, but in my earlier went to the prom with my best friends. I was like that strict on that, so I already have the discipline to not even be like lustful like that anyway. But it definitely, you know, it will leave you more with a dry phone and not a lot of dates. I can't say I have a whole lot of, experiences because I'm kind of strict like that when it comes to that. And I also get well, what's the point of you dressing up and looking nice if you're not going to go on dates and talk to men? Because I do it for me. So I think culturally, despite all of these lies people are doing and saying, oh, women need to do this, that, and the third, y'all don't want that. Y'all really just do want coochie. You just use marriage as like a dangling carrot. Y'all not for real.
Yeah, I think that too, because I think a lot of times they press you for intercourse, but they know that they're going to change up the minute you give it to them. They gonna change up, and and things aren't gonna be the same. And I don't know, but I'll tell you. I know. I think I've told everybody this. Well, never. You know what? Let me not even say that because that's just a whole nother topic and crazy thing. Let me go up here. Gabrielle, you have something to say, sis?
Yeah. I just wanted to respond to the prompt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So for number one, I kind of have mixed opinions on this because I think, like, in some cases, like, I think in some relationships that might be the best course of action because there obviously have been like all kinds of studies that show like all the hormones and stuffs that are released when intercourse happens. But at the same time, like just like for me personally, like I don't know if I would like I probably wouldn't be comfortable marrying a guy before like intercourse just because like I guess like what if we weren't compatible in that way and then like you get married, and you find out then. But I definitely do believe in like birth control, condoms, so like or can I say BC on here or
I think so. I think you can say that. I
I'll
don't
just
think
say
that.
contraception just to be on the safe side because I don't want to. But yeah, I definitely believe in contraception. But I do think that like I think number one, it really is going to vary from like for each couple or relationship. I think that if you are not going to be abstinent, then you really should like use contraception in the many forms that are available. Like because I definitely think you don't want to like catch something or like get pregnant. So
I
if you're
mean,
not married.
I would say, it's a slippery slope when you talk about like, having intercourse and not being married. Even though, of course, if we all know that you can get things from your persons that you're married to if they're not faithful to you. But they're
Absolutely.
using contraceptives, are not a necessarily, a super protective factor for everything. You can
Yeah.
get herpes, you can get HPV, you can get genital warts, you can get all of these things even while using a contraceptive or a contraception or what prophylactics, whatever. But so I mean, for me, I think abstinence, I just want to say one thing in response to what you were saying about the abstinent thing. When people say one thing in response to what you were saying about the abstinent thing, when people say like, hey, what if we're not compatible, actually, I think that's just something that people say now because of the world that we live in now, which is understandable. But if you really love someone and y'all really are vibing, and I would say 98% of the time you're not going to be sexually incompatible. It's not going to happen because the majority of sex is mental anyway, and your connection with that person, which is why people that are, have a lot of history of being with a lot of different people will often say that even though they've had a lot of experience and had a lot of things, their best partners have been people that they have been emotionally connected with, that they've been in love with. So I very rarely think that you would, get with somebody that you wouldn't be able to function with. But I'm not here to police nobody for trying. I just want y'all to know that y'all do what you want to.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
I think and again, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of on the cusp of where supervillain is as far as a separatist. But if I was in the dating state of mind, I would think that I would still use that time within the, and this is in a perfect world where men are not freaking scumbag horn dogs, but say it's a normal functioning man with emotional intelligence, good communication skills, and mature. I think if, for me, abstinence or being celibate has nothing to do with like a religious tie. So there's no purity culture in that. And I'm saying that in the sense of like those discussions and conversations can be discussed while getting to know each other. I think that's, and just falling back to like, I wish I would have known when I was young, instead of like, just don't have sex till you get married and don't, it was just don't. It was just don't. I think it is healthy to talk about sex and talk about, what you would like, or if I don't like something, like how do we communicate that? I think that's a part of for me, that's how I would look at it, is that's a part of the get to know thing. And of course, I think you can sense the vibes of if that person is stubborn or selfish, or if that person is unwilling to learn. Like those characteristics for me would be like, a dub, because I'm like, well, SMEX is communication also. And if you can't communicate with me on this level, or you're selfish when it comes to communication without SMEX, then I can't trust in the SMEXual environment you'll be able to accommodate my needs and vice versa. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Miss Chrissy, baby. I definitely think when you talking to somebody and y'all really, yeah, you will know. You will know. I feel like you will know. But yeah, I agree with what you were saying. But I'm sorry, I cut in, Gabrielle. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, let's see, number two, if a man cannot improve your life, he's not dating material. I definitely do agree with that. Like I was saying in the live you had earlier, I really do think that if you're like really involved with a guy, period, he really should be improving your life, because if he's not, then it's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you entertaining him? Like, I will go online and see, like, or even just like Reddit, I'll go through so many Reddit stories and I'll see comments like, oh, my husband, like, doesn't, he doesn't clean up. But I've been with him for 5 years, but he cheated. Like, they'll just list out a laundry list of this guy just being terrible. But then it's like, but then it'll end with like, oh, what should I do? And it's like, if if a guy is just a drain, I really don't think you should entertain him in any capacity, at all. But that's just me. That's just what I think. So I definitely do agree with number two. Number three, if a man cheats, the relationship is over. Yeah, I do agree with that. I really do think cheating is one of the most disrespectful things you can do in a relationship. I really think at that point, it's over. Like I mean, aside from the betrayal, like cheating, you can risk like getting certain infections. There are all kinds of, like, it really can be like a serious threat to your health. And like, even if it's not, there's like the betrayal of it. I don't think, a man who really loves you and values you will cheat. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, all men cheat. And like, I don't believe every single man cheats, but I do think that, if someone is in a relationship with you and you guys have both said, okay, we're going to be committed, it's going to be you and me, I think that they should honor that. And I think if they can't or don't honor that, their relationship should be over. Man does not want to provide, you shouldn't provide him with anything. I definitely agree with that. I really do think, like, I'm trying to think of a way to put this. Like, I think if a guy is like serious about you in a relationship, he will almost naturally want to do things for you and provide and be there. And, he'll be active and like actually involved in like showing that without you having to try to prompt him. And I think if he's just not doing that, then I mean, you definitely shouldn't provide him with anything, but I don't think you should entertain him, period. Like, I really do think, like, but I don't think you should entertain him, period. Like, I really do think, like, in 2025, it's even more important to be vigilant of like red flags, or if a guy is too nonchalant, because there's just so much stuff, guys who are like being taught step by step, like on whiteboards. Like, I've seen this stuff on TikTok of like guys literally have entire whiteboards. Like, I've seen this stuff on TikTok of like guys literally have entire whiteboards out giving them tips on how to manipulate women, do this, do that. Like, they're literally breaking it down like ABCD format. So I think knowing all of that, if a guy is like, if he's not, I think knowing all of that, if a guy is like, if he's not actively and enthusiastically showing up in the relationship, I don't think you should deal with him. So I do agree with number 4. And number 5, women with low standards are destroying BM. I agree with that, but I almost feel like more so women with low standards are destroying themselves, because I feel like if you have low standards in a relationship, you will settle for like the bare minimum, or if a guy cheats in a relationship, you'll say, oh, well, all men cheat, I need to give him a chance. So you'll just be more lenient and more willing to give a guy grace, and you won't have like, the filters that need to be up to protect yourself from men who are not great people, which is unfortunately, in my opinion, most men. So I mean, when you say destroying BM, like in what way did you mean by that?
Oh, I meant like they, when they have low standards and they are accepting of these type of black men, they allow them to live in delusion as to the character and quality of man that they are. And then when the relationship degrades with that woman, which it will eventually will, then they move on to other black women or other women in general. And then if those women say, hey, you're not what you think you are, then a lot of times those men react with violence, acting crazy, acting out. So I believe that the women with the low standards are destroying black men just because they give them a false reality. But it's also destroying other women too. But I just spoke of it from the term of black men, because the reason why I did that is because I had saw a live today where black men were talking about how they're not marrying black women and just all of these things. And then I'm looking at all of these guys' pictures and they all look so ridiculously disgusting. And I'm like, you guys don't even have anybody. Nobody even wants y'all. What are you talking about? Nobody wants to marry any of you guys. And that's what I mean. Like, there are real life women that are entertaining these men on some level that is destroying their minds to where they're not even aware of the type of people that they are,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and I do agree with that. Like, I know you mentioned one of your other lives, like DJ Academics was like trashing Halle Bailey's looks, which is weird because you look at DJ Academics, like, he's not really in a position to be talking about anybody looks wise, at least in my opinion, in manosphere spaces, or like the guys on like, let's say the whatever podcast who will like invite women on to try to embarrass them and say, oh, I want you to rate yourself from 1 to 10. And the way that these guys are talking, you would think that they're all like 6'5" with like abs and, I don't know, like a 6-figure job or whatever. And these guys are not any of that. And yet they're, critiquing and talking about women. I think part of that, like you were saying, does kind of tie into like when women entertain them. So I absolutely do think the low standards definitely do reverberate out in the way that you were talking about. So yeah, I agree with that. I think if we all increase our standards across the board, it would force males to either evolve or get left behind. So yeah, I do agree with you on that as well.
All right, all right, all right. All right, I appreciate you, Gabrielle. And I just want to say quickly, I also agree with on what Miss Chrissy Baby was saying. I forgot to say it about the purity culture because I don't want anyone to think that anything that I'm saying is rooted in like purity culture as far as the abstinent thing. It really doesn't go, even though I am a religious person, this doesn't have anything to do with the religion at all. It only strictly comes from a position of protecting Black women, and that's it. And your best protection would be to be abstinent, period. Because that way, if anything occurs, you find out anything about him, he does anything, wrong to you, and you can easily disconnect from the relationship very easily without the least risk to you. Because so many women stay with men because they feel like, oh, I've done this with them, I've done that with them. Oh, now I love him. Oh, we were bonded. Oh, we have this soul tie and da da da. That's the only reason why I say it. So I just want women to know, like, at the end of the day, I do not care what you do with your vagina. I don't. I'm just saying that I think logically speaking, if you look at it from a rational standpoint, that is the way to go dealing with men and the risk factors that they come with. Like, that's the smartest thing to do. Miss Chrissy Baby, you have something to say?
100% agree. I think abstinence, me personally, I need to have like a counter alternative in this state of the dating world and men in general. Starve them from attention, everything, starve them, in my opinion. But I want to circle back to the whole standards thing. I also think that it's in media too that kind of endorse subpar, medium ugly men to have extreme audacity. Because if you notice it, and I think I said it in the comments in the last live, like if you look at all these rappers, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, if you look at pornography, most of those guys are like real weird, dorky looking. You know what I mean? For the most part, the ones that are attractive are usually GAY. You know what I mean? And so I think when men heavily consume these, which they do, they watch a lot of porn, they idolize these rappers and stars and stuff, that they think that they are on that same level. They think that, well, I have to be the prize, attractive, and a good catch because he look like a camel, I look like a dust bucket. What's the difference? You know what I mean? So I think that's where the audacity kind of comes from.
I'm telling you, Miss Chrissy, baby, you doing too much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at all these. Think about all the rappers. Maybe Tupac is probably, and he was really short too. No shade, but rest
Yes,
in peace.
too
But he was
short.
short. He was short. So like these guys are watching that like, yeah, I'm the man too, because you know what I'm saying, I look like a llama. What up? You know what I mean? And then they think they can get a Beyonce, and they really, really, really believe this. They're really watching these corns. You know what I mean? And they
Bro,
seeing some dorky. They really
did you
got
just
like
say that I look like a llama? Stop.
You know what I mean? And then they walk around and watch corn 24/7 mid video game, mid scrolling on dating apps. So they see the bucktooth, weird looking skinny dude in the flick, and he got coochie mad easy because the girl came in and said, "Oh, I'm here to fix your cable," and then she busting it. They really, like, that's what I'm saying, they get fed all of these illogical ways that to deal with women. I think that's why they get so violent, because it's like, why not me? Why not me? He's ashy, I'm ashy, what happened? You know what I mean? I think that's, and I'm not even like joking, I'm dead serious. I really think that the media feeds them that they have the entitlement to get all the beautiful women they can get.
First of all, Miss Chrissy, baby, let me tell you something. I know you said that you were serious. And I believe that you were serious. And what you said made sense, but I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. But I definitely agree with you for sure. I think Jay-Z, yes, is a perfect example. For the life of me, every time I see that man, he is so dreadfully unattractive. I have no idea what Beyonce was even thinking. I don't know.
Beyonce used to gag when he would try to sit next to her, and they were like, "No, you need to talk to him. He's a big time rap." You know what I mean?
Oh
Mm.
my goodness. I can't believe she did it. She sold out her soul and she sold out her vagina. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was to ever entertain a man that was that unfortunate looking, he would never, ever, ever get any children out of me. I would not bear one of that man's child. Or one of that man's children. I promise you, I would have a secret. What is it, Mirena? Or whatever the other one, Nexplanon, whatever goes underneath the skin. I promise you, he would never know that I had it, but I would have it, and I would never in my life procreate with a man that looks like that. Honestly, he is so very unattractive, and it's so many women though that will tell you, "Oh, Jay Z fine," and I'm just like, "You are fine where? Fine where are you talking about? That man looks horrific." Okay, horrifically ugly. And now that he's done the hairstyle that he got right now, that just adds even more ugliness to the layer on him because he doesn't have a face that he can even do what he's doing with that. Yuck. I don't know. Beyonce is out of her mind. And that I believe that she's that, when people say they have rumors that she be drinking a lot and stuff like that, I believe it because she got to be drinking to see that at the house every day. you know Either that or she got like a secret, like, pool boy lover that, she that actually looks like something that she engages with when she feel like it. That's the only thing that makes sense, because if she signed on to see that face forever, I just don't know what to say. I
No,
don't know.
that's serious. And I think when men see that, because they kind of live in fantasy anyway, and they're getting fed fantasy through corn, through media, rap music, all these things, and they think that they can walk out and open the door, shoes leaning and all, and like they have like the extreme audacity. And I mean, attractive guys also are bad guys too, but I think the majority of the problematic ones that are violent, or the ones that's typing online or in the panels, you know what I mean, the more deficient. And I think nobody really humbles them. The media don't humble them. The world don't humble, like, like, if you have a flaw as a woman, like I have, big lips and a big nose, people can crack on that all day, or like make that the worst part of my features. You know what I mean? Like, women can get so heavily critiqued for their physical appearance way more than men, in my opinion.
I definitely agree. And you know what makes me very upset is that there's in no way would the situation be reversed where, um if Jay-Z was an extremely handsome man, right? And Jay-Z was an extremely handsome man, right? And he would be, no matter what he had going, where he would entertain a woman that looked how he looks. He would never do that. He would never look how he looks. He would never do that. He would never eat. She had all the money in the world. It wouldn't matter if she had all the status in the world. It wouldn't matter. None of that would matter, and therefore she didn't have no worth of value. And that's why I have never, ever, ever been nice to men that I thought was ugly. Like, I never ever thought, "Oh, let me give him a chance because, his soul." Because I know that if I was ugly, they would never do that, give me that grace. I don't believe in giving ugly men grace at all. Like, I don't believe in saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be with you because of your personality is good." No. No. Are you cute? No. Okay, then get out of here. I never ever was that type of person. I never was. And even when it was like height matters, dude's like, you really not gonna talk to me? Like, I'm the same height as you, or just a little bit shorter. I don't care. Get out of here, short stuff. You see how tall I am. Get lost. Kick rocks with no socks. I can't do it. I never was the type of person, the woman, to give me grace. Like, if I don't think you're attractive, get out of here. Skedaddle. Get lost. If I don't think you're tall enough, get out of here, skedaddle, get lost, because you wouldn't do it for me. You wouldn't. You wouldn't do it for any woman that you thought was unattractive. If you thought she was ugly or you didn't like her body or you didn't like, you would not entertain her. It wouldn't matter how nice she was to you. It wouldn't matter if she woke you up every day with breakfast in bed with French toast and pancakes and bacon and eggs and fresh squeezed orange juice. You would never accept that woman. You never would. So I don't understand why women are always told that they have to accept or tolerate, men that are unattractive. Like I never understood that. It's like such a double standard, and women happily go on along with it too. Like what you were talking about earlier about the medium ugly. Like what men do you hear bragging about liking medium ugly women? Never. They're never anywhere talking about that. Oh yeah, give me a medium ugly woman. I like that. Let me get her to have a medium gut too. Just halfway hanging over her pants. Like you never gonna hear them say that. Because they'll never will do that. But for some reason, women are supposed to do that. Like, no, no. I don't believe a man that looks like Jay-Z should have ever had the opportunity to procreate with anybody. I believe even if he was rich, he should have just been in his mansion by himself, looking in the mirror like, dag, bro, I'm really unattractive. Like, yikes, nobody likes me. I think that would keep men way more grounded. I do.
Or date women that's in his caliber. And that's no shade. And I'm not trying to, bag on a woman, but it's like men always say, I mean, you guys want 666 and blah 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 blah. I'm like, but you would never downgrade yourself. So why are you asking women to downgrade yourself? And also the issue too, I see nowadays, men don't do self-care. I feel like women moisturize our face. We do things to keep ourselves up or whatever. Take a break from makeup, let our skin breathe, whatever. I feel like they don't even put on lotion no more or something. Like what's tea? Why y'all they just come out the house and just like, yo, what up, girl? Like what? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel you. It's been so long since I've actually seen an attractive man that I thought was attractive, like walking around outside. It's been a very, very long time. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm picky or what, but it's been a very long time since I've seen a man where I was just like, whoa, wow, like he's very attractive. And I look at men of all races. So I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about any race because I can recognize any race of man as being attractive or handsome. And it's been a very long time since I've seen a man that I was like, wow, he's very attractive. Like I don't know where these men are at, but they gone. They gone. And that's unfortunate. I'm like my teenage daughter, she was like, Mom, I don't know what's going on because most of the boys that I see are ugly, and I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I know they are ugly. They are ugly. And it is what it is. I know I remember like I'm in my 40s, right? My early 40s. I remember, being in my room looking at BET and seeing like Genuine, like what was that song he had? He had like it wasn't it was Do You Wanna. I remember seeing the video Do You Wanna with Genuine, and it was another one too. I think it was called I'm Sorry or whatever. And I remember seeing LL Cool J, like he had Hey Lover. And I remember watching those videos and being like, wow, like these men are, I don't know if these are you guys this type of men. Well, I know Miss Chrissy Baby is around my age. I don't remember I remember seeing those men and thinking like, wow, those men are so like fine and attractive. I don't see any men like that now. Like, I don't see fine and attractive. I don't see any men like that now. Like, I don't see any Morris Chestnuts or Blair Underwoods. I'm trying to think about men that were like in that generation back then. I don't. Where are those men at now? Like, I don't. I'm not saying it's not a couple cute guys, but even the men that are like,
They they not in real life is that's also the issue too. And I think we're not it's probably too harsh. And maybe that's a part of the feminism conversation nobody wanna have. But it's also like there's not a lot of attraction. I'm not like when I say and I'm single, I have not seen a guy where I was like, oh shoot. I don't think I said oh shoot since the 99s and 2000s, since Jabos and Reeboks. I don't.
Oh man, like yeah, you know what Coach She said in real life she sees one fine man a year. Girl, you know what Coach She said in real life she sees one fine man a year. Girl, I'm gonna tell you, I was out of town and this was probably like 9 years ago. Like I think I was at a restaurant called Papados, and there were some men at the bar, and I was with my husband. So I ain't trying to get popped in the head. And I'm just playing. But no, I saw some guys at the bar. Like it was a guy, and he was like really really handsome. I was like, oh wow, he's handsome. And I was like, I made a mental note. I was like, I probably won't see anyone like that for a long time moving forward. And that was like 19 years ago. He was black though, but I'm just like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Gabrielle, I think Gabrielle wants to say something. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I definitely want to say something about this. Like, I have noticed that too. Like, I really do think most men are not attractive. Like, I'm gonna say the last time I met a guy who, or even saw a guy who was attractive and like, actually talked and had a great time with him, it was literally about 2 years ago. But I really do agree that like the average guy that you are gonna see in restaurants, or I don't know, at the farmer's market or wherever you go, like most of them are just not attractive. I don't know if it's, someone in the comments mentioned the hygiene, like some of them do have bad hygiene, like they don't wash in certain areas that they should wash. I was reading something online that said a lot that the average man will only change his bed sheets like every 6 months, which is gross. I mean, there's like probably there's got I mean, I change my sheets like every week or 2 weeks, or even if I sweat too much in my sleep, like I'll just throw my sheets in the wash. So like every 6 months, like I can't even imagine their hygiene. There are some guys who like don't change their clothes every day. So I feel like all of that ties into the hygiene thing. And I don't know. I mean, like I agree I think it was Miss Chrissy Baby who said like every few years, or did you say every few years, or was that someone in the chat? Or
99s and 2000s, since
oh
Carl Kanai jeans and Reeboks, since Jabos,
oh
since
yeah.
high
Well,
top fades.
I'm 27, so I was like, I don't even remember that time, but yeah, for me. It really is like every few years. Like the last time I like dated a guy. I mean, I'm 27, so maybe like I think I was like 23, and like I was like obviously attracted to the guy that I did, because I wouldn't date a guy if I wasn't attracted to him. But I mean, I don't know what it is with men who are not attractive, and the fact that it's not just me, because I did wonder for a while, maybe it's just me, but I have heard like other women say that as well lately. So I definitely agree with that. Like, yeah.
Were triggered, and I mean, of course, pass it through, but just look at one of your homegirls like dating apps. Like sometimes we will sit there with wine and swipe through our homegirls dating app, and it's like monster after monster after monster. I'm like, you took a picture and was like cool with that? Like talking about I'm a king looking for a queen to take care of me. Like what? It's crazy out here.
Oh man, that's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just it's just a sad situation. It really is. And it makes me just be glad that I don't know. But it is what it
I think
is.
it's like, some of the more radical feminists are saying that the XY gene is degenerating. Do you think that's possibly why? Like
Hmm.
chromosomes are like deteriorating, they just becoming maybe it's looks too, but maybe like women are just not attracted because they're not evolving at the same pace women are.
I Yeah, I think
I don't know. Maybe because they have like the testosterone is, I think I read this article, it was like a few days ago, where they said that like a 21-year-old man has less sperm and testosterone, less testosterone than a 70-year-old man has right now, because of the testosterone is dropping in men. So maybe. Was you about to say something, Gabrielle?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I definitely think part of it is that they're not evolving, but also, and I've kind of felt this way for a while, but I feel like there's like something spiritual going on with men. Like I'm not religious, I'm actually agnostic, but I definitely do believe in like spirituality and like there's like stuff that exists in the world that we can't see. And I really do think that there is something going on with men. I think it's making a lot of them almost like rot from the inside out to where you look at them and like it's really hard to like feel an attraction. Like I think someone in the comments said that there were like men who were in a bodybuilding thing and they were in shape but still not like attractive. Like I think there's just something internal in a lot of men that is missing. And I think whatever the spiritual thing they have going on, because I really do think there's some spiritual aspect to it. I think it's causing something inside of them to decay. Like kind of like in those horror movies when people get like possessed and like their skin literally starts to like rot from like they look like they're decaying. I feel like that's kind of happening to a lot of men, and that's why so many women are saying like men are just not attractive. Like I've seen a lot of that. So yeah, that's just my theory though. But
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, and you know while you guys were
It is
talking, I was
spiritual.
just oh, you said what you say, Miss Chrissy, baby?
I do think it's spiritual too because even my married friends, and of course they're you know they're married, but they're like, dang, because you know they're always out like, ooh, there's no like no. It's just funny. It's easy to be abstinent. I'll just put it like that because nobody really made me turn. Don't think I ever like broke my neck to look at a guy, and like, girl, look at him. And I don't think I said that in probably a decade. I'm not even lying, and I live in Los Angeles.
All right, all right, all right. Let me go down here to Coach T.
Hey Trick. Hey Gabby. Hey Miss Chrissy
Hey.
baby. Oh my goodness. What did I miss in the discussion so far about marriage?
And all ugly out here.
Girl, you ain't lying. You was not lying. But yeah, so that was me. You was not lying. But yeah, so that was me. I mentioned in the chat, Gabby, that my sister competitively bodybuilds. She started like a year or so ago. And so I'll go to her competitions and stuff. And the men, like, they be like in shape. I be impressed by, like they physique, but they don't be fine. Like I don't be like my loins don't get on fire for them. It's just nothing about them that I'm just like, oh my God, he is so fine. I think my problem is because Gabby and Chrissy baby, I mentioned like it's a spiritual thing. I think because it's like a spell being lifted, like the veil is being lifted, and we don't believe in the fairy tale anymore. It's hard to experience like that kind of daydreamy, like I got a crush on you type of feeling. Daydreamy, like I got a crush on you type of feeling for men, because it's like I already know what you're about. Like I can't even look at you and really want to like fantasize about what it would be like to be intimate with you or have a relationship with you, because I know y'all all full of it. So it's nothing about you that gets me excited. Like there's nothing about you that gets me excited enough, and your looks aren't enough to overcome the negative characteristics or personality traits that I know that you already have. Like it's nothing about you that is just like, you know what? I'm willing to risk it all, which is basically what you're doing when you're deciding that you're going to date a man or like be intimate with him, but definitely marriage. Like, yeah, I'm not willing to do that because, you're not, first of all, you're not even cute enough. That's number one. Even if I could get past the fact that like you're not cute, it's nothing. You have no other redeeming qualities. You're not intelligent. You can't hold a conversation. And another thing, well, I'll say even high school, like men like to talk about, like, I seen a post that was just like, oh, is your high school crush still fine? And I really had to remember, like, who was my high school crush? I really had to think about it like real hard. And then y'all, I went and looked them up. No, not fine. Not fine at all. Even when you think about the boys from high school that used to be like, oh my God, he is so cute, or they had like a boyish charm. I think that's really what it is from high school. Is like I can remember the boys in high school that I thought was cute. They had like a boyish charm to them. You just look youthful and they had a glow about them. They raggedy and ran through now. They not cute no more. My high school sweetheart, he just happened to pop up on my For You page. I don't know why. I blocked this man years ago. A mess. Looking a hot mess. Looking swollen, busted, and disgusted. I'm like, woo, child. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through. But these men is really looking out here looking like what they been through, what they daddy been through, what they granddaddy been through. They really is down bad. Down really bad. But I'll say this last thing is I've been trying to make an effort because I have sworn off like online interactions with people, even from dating to like meeting friends to everything. I'm just trying to get more in the habit of meeting people in more in-person environments, because you can get a better feel for somebody in person. So I've been trying to go to like little classes and little events and things like that, like third spaces, just trying to meet people and stuff on like the artsy creative scene, just getting a different vibe for who all is in my city. And so I went to this one event. It was like an unplugged event where you couldn't be on your phone for an hour and a half or something. And we did like a craft. It was cool. Like we talked and talked about just different stuff we like to do and what type of stuff that we into doing and all this stuff. So there was this one guy there. He wasn't my type. He wasn't attractive. I wasn't attracted to him at all. But he somehow got it in his mind that he was attracted to me. And what made him even more attractive is that he was too thirsty. Like you're too eager. Like you're going too hard. You don't know how to read social cues. Like you keep talking. Your teeth are crooked. Like you worried about the wrong things. You're literally worried about the wrong things. Okay, so yeah, that's really. I think one of the other main factors for me too, is because I've never been a woman who is just like, oh my God, he's got to be like Denzel Morris, chestnut fine, but I have to find something about you attractive. And it's hard for me to even find one thing about these men attractive. But for me, as an intellectual person, I enjoy like conversation and intellect and like learning things. So if you can teach me something different or like have a different point of view or experience, that's attractive to me. There's nothing attractive about these men, like nothing. They don't have nothing going on. They get up, they be scrolling on social media or dating apps. They work their little 9-to-5 call center job, play on their video games if they play video games, and like be losers and bums. It's sad.
You know what, Coach T? I was thinking about what you said earlier, where you were talking about like a guy that you went to school with. I tell you what, it's a guy that I went to high school with, and he was very popular in high school, and I was like a super nerd. I was really religious, super nerd. Nobody was talking to me, checking for me, period. And so me and him are friends on Facebook, and how far this man has fallen. This man was asking to eat somebody booty at a late night on Facebook. And I showed my husband, I was like, do you see this? Like, this man used to be so popular. I can't. You were over here begging
Damn,
to
homie.
eat.
In high school, you was the man, homie. What the happened to you?
Oh my goodness. He was like, is anybody up? Is anybody up? And then it was another day. He talks about how, he had got with this woman that was trying to get in his inbox on Facebook. He said he really didn't like her. He said his inbox on Facebook, he said he really didn't like her. He said, but he was thirsty or whatever, and said that he went down on her even though she was musty and she had a little smell to her. And it was a little tart smell to her. And it was a little tart. And I was like, I can't, sir, you are in your 40s. What are you doing? What are you doing?
You
What are
do
you
all of that
doing?
talking,
For a
and he did
mess.
it anyway. And they like that. He lying. He like,
I was like, what is going on? This man is so embarrassing. Like, and what's crazy is that he has like this he has like a BBW, like he really likes BBW women. Now I feel like it's a fetish because he's had two wives, and the wives are like, at first they'll be like thinner, but then like with his, like, I think he like be feeding them or something like that, like they'll be getting to be like very large, like, and I mean like 400-pound large. I don't mean like a regular type of weight gain. I mean like an obscene amount of weight, like 400 pounds. And then his first wife, when they got divorced, that lady was skinny, I promise you. And about a year's time, like she was like thin again. And I was like, what? Like all the time she was with him, like she was like 400 pounds plus. And then he got with another woman, and she is like really really pretty, and I know a lot of people liked her, like she would be posting it, her comments would be like popping and stuff like that. Very curvy, very pretty. Then after he got with her, she got to be like very large again, like I said, like 400 pounds plus, like very very large. And then she left, they got a divorce, she divorced them, and both of the women divorced them. Then now she's thin as well again. So it's like, I don't know what type of sick thing that man got going on, but I just, when, how you be in high school, I don't know if anybody was a nerd in high school, but even if you weren't, how like you see people that have like a reputation for being cool, and they were like all of that. And then you just see like how much you become an adult, and you're like, bro, like, I can't even believe in my younger years, like I was actually thinking that you were somebody, because you're actually pathetic. You know what I'm saying? And I remember me and him had got into it on Facebook because he had made some negative post about black women, and how black women can't keep no man. And I was like, excuse me, why are you always talking about black women and they can't keep no man? I said, you can't keep a woman. You had two wives, sir, that left you. And then he was like, oh, so you want to talk crazy to me here? And I said, I'm just telling you the truth. I said, because every time I'm looking, you saying something about black women, and you've been married twice to two beautiful women, you can't keep them. And he had said something. I said, and before you even try to come for me, sir, I'm still married to who I've been married to. So you need to check yourself. But it's just like, wow, like I don't know. It's like, yeah, the things that he does, like I could have been unfollowed this man and just unfriended him on Facebook, but his life is such a dumpster fire. I just be being nosy and I don't know. I just couldn't imagine being in my 40s, which I am in my 40s, but like actually begging people to sleep with me. Like that's just so embarrassing. But you had something to say, Miss Chrissy, baby?
I wanted to circle back about the attraction thing. I do think it's spiritual because a few years ago, I was talking to a guy. He was perfect height, 6'7". He was a ref, ex basketball player, like checked all the boxes. But when I say like the conversations would be so like you can tell like the majority of his 20s and 30s he relied on his looks maybe or his status, that now that and I'm not saying he's super unattractive, but he's salt and pepper now. He's an older gentleman now. That he just don't know how to socialize or anything, which makes it again unattractive. And there was other aspects that made it like kind of cringe to where I couldn't get like it didn't last long because I was just like, ew, I can't explain it. It was just like not attractive. Like I feel like, and maybe I'm tripping, maybe someone co-signed me. I feel like at least back in the day when we were, there was more pick me culture with all the R&B songs. There was like something to get like, ooh, and crush about and listen to a song in bed and daydream about a dude. Like, I feel like that's not a thing anymore. And even I have a 22-year-old daughter and she can vouch for me. Like, ew, dudes are ugly right now. And it's not just about aesthetically. It's like they don't take care of themselves. They don't communicate properly. They don't have comprehension skills, social skills. They're really socially awkward. They're just not attractive.
Miss Chrissy, baby, to piggyback off of that, you just sparked something for me because I'm a millennial, so I'm like I got the last of club culture. I think a lot of that, the socializing has plummeted because we don't really have like social culture anymore. I don't want to say like everybody used to party in club and stuff, but there was a time when you at least went to a club and there were men around and people were dancing and music was playing. So it was kind of like, I can imagine in like the 80s and 90s, men were more attractive because y'all could actually dance with them and stuff. Like it was a lot of flirtation involved. Like it was a lot of kind of like seduction and romance, even with as raunchy and as like disrespectful as the lyrics started to get, there was still like that vibe of what they call it, like Jodeci yearning and Keith Sweat begging, so it was still like a culture of men really trying to pursue women, even though we know what the outcome was going to be. There was still like a culture, and it was still socialized in men and women. Like, we come together and we dance and exchange numbers and we talk on the phone and we cuffing and boo loving, like whatever the term is. We used to call it boo loving, me and my friends, but we was silly. When you get your boo on the phone and you in a corner all whispering all on the phone, being cute, like I feel like that culture don't exist no more. I remember when I was young in high school, like just starting out today, like me and my joint used to be like on the phone till the sun came up. I done had plenty of conversations when I was in high school on the phone, boo loving and chit chatting till the sun came up. Like, oh, what you doing? Like, nothing. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. Like, that don't exist no more. So it's like men have lost their, I don't want to call it finesse, but they've lost the art of like conversation with women and knowing how to talk to a woman. And what they used to call it, like, oh, talking about charm. Like they don't have no charm. They don't have no riz, like the kids say. They don't have no charisma. They don't, it's nothing enticing. They don't have no charisma. They don't, it's nothing enticing about them. Like it's just done.
I mean, I definitely agree with y'all. I don't know. And cause I'm an old married lady, but my daughter, I wish that she could, but then I don't know if it's just like some residual pick meism, but I really, my daughter hasn't had any crushes or anything like that. My teenage daughter, I have another daughter that's younger, so she's not at that stage yet, but she hasn't had any, and she tells me all the time that it's because she thinks that most of the boys are ugly and stuff like that. And I can't even say that it ain't true. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I just know that I don't feel like it was that way when I was coming up, because I know I had a crush on a guy that was in when I was in high school. He ended up getting killed or whatever, but I had a crush on a guy in high school that I thought was like so fine. And I had a crush on like a lot, like I told y'all, like I had a crush on LL Cool J. I had a crush on Genuine, I had a crush on Q from 112. I don't know if y'all know who that is. I had a crush on Q from 112. Oh, and also Duran from 112. And it was like the little people that I liked and stuff like that. I like Nas, and I don't know. I just don't feel like it's like that no more. And it's just like, it's like almost an era is gone, like for the young girls coming up. But like, the only thing I've told my daughter, my teenage daughter, is that that's fine, that's not there, but you'll just have to find another, she's really into art. So she puts her passion into her artistry and drawing and stuff like that. So it is what it is. Did you have something to say, Gabrielle?
No, I mean, so when you're talking about your daughter, her not having a crush on any boys, I do think part of it is because a lot of boys are in the red pill pipeline, and even if they aren't going to school like viscerally showing that, I really do think the content that you consume as a human being, like I do think it has some kind of spiritual impact. I think it colors everything you do and how you interact, and just even the vibe you get when people look at you and interact with you. And I really do think that is what's off-putting to so many women. And obviously, you know, misogyny has always existed. I do think this whole like red pill manosphere stuff is really taking it. I don't know if I want to say a deeper level. I just think it's having, I don't know, more of an impact or a different kind of impact. I really do think it is impacting the way that not even just men, but boys and men are, you know, presenting and, you know, being perceived in the world. So that, like, I think that's why so many women are saying, like, oh, it's been years or decades since I've met a guy who's, like, you know, genuinely attractive and, you know, and like even me, like I'm 27 and your 20s are supposed to be the age where like you're, or at least they say it's supposed to be like the decade where you're like dating and like, you know, I don't know, like figuring it out or whatever. But I just don't have the interest in doing it. Like I said, every few years, like I will meet a guy where it's like, okay, maybe, but it's not like, you know, it's not like I can just go out and like meet a guy who like attraction and interest, like it's just not there. And I really do think, you know, it's an energetic spiritual thing across the board.
Like, I can't remember the last time I blushed. You know, the little like, I can't. I don't remember.
All right, you guys. I am going to end the live, you guys, but I wanted to see if any of you guys had anything to say before I get up out of here. And I definitely agree with all of y'all too.
I'll just close by saying it really, I agree, Trigger, what you said. It's the end of an era, but you know, eras have to end. It's called an era for a reason. But what the men's don't realize is that they're making it so much easier to leave them behind because of their nasty attitudes and their inability to step into the quote unquote new world, the quote unquote new world. Like they're making it very easy to just leave them behind. So I agree. Number one, if you're not married, abstain. Like just completely take that off the table, and how you'll see the reality of who these men are or who a man is. Just take it off the table. It's not available. It's not an option. You don't even have to tell him that, but you don't even engage him in a way where he even could think like, oh yeah, nope. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in getting to know you on that level. And so once you take that off the table, it's like basically they ain't got nothing else left to offer you or to talk about. It's very few of them that can hang, you know, without doing all of that. And a part of the reason why they do all of that is to like de-stigmatize you anyway. So they rush you to the bedroom to get you under a spell, so to speak. So yeah, if you're not married, just abstain. Like just stay away from them. There's something wrong with them. You don't want them demons leaping off of them and getting onto you. You gotta just, please, y'all, just these men, they get even more unhinged and deranged and out of control. So don't even go there with them. Don't. Number two, absolutely agree. Alone, if he can't improve your life in any way, like I mentioned, if he can't show you something new or teach you something new or open you up to a new experience that doesn't involve sex or physical intimacy, what is he here for? What is he even here for? Why would a man be there? Number three, as a woman who stayed after a cheat, leave. Leave the first time. Leave if you even think he cheating. If you feel like he cheating, he probably is. Pack your stuff and get going. Don't even stay there no more. Like once that boundary is crossed, the relationship is over. It's nothing else for y'all to talk about. It's nothing else for y'all to talk about. It's nothing else you can do with a man that cheats. I personally don't think on you. He might change for the next woman. He might change for the woman after that. But if he cheated on you, he's gonna cheat on you again. Does not want to provide. You shouldn't provide him with anything. Period. Point blank, women with standards are destroying BM. Women with standards are destroying BM. If they mama had some standards, they wouldn't even be here. But that's a conversation for another live.
All right, all right, all right. Miss Chrissy, baby, did you have anything to say, sis?
Thanks for having another amazing live. Again, I always love to sit here. They ugly. I think maybe we should just say it more. It sounds mean because I don't want, God's children's, they're not attractive. And I mean, maybe if we actually, that's a tough conversation. There would probably be a lot of pushback and I think women don't want to do that because they're afraid of being insulted back, but we always get insulted. We always lash wigs, weaves, nappy head. Like, we've been insulted for a very long time now. At this point, why spare feelings? Maybe the loneliness epidemic is because women are not attracted to men right now. Doesn't mean we're on the rainbow side, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm a straight woman, but my fire haven't been lit in a very long time, and I'm not Beyonce, and I'm not doing that. So they're ugly. That's all I had to say.
All right, all right, all right. I definitely think
I want to feel the fire like Stephanie Mills.
I think that is like a great thing that I think I'm gonna start using that I got from Miss Chrissy, baby. They ugly. And I really think that I'm gonna use that frequently. I think moving forward because I think that they need to hear it. And I think a lot of men when they come on the platform and they come in the live box and they say something crazy, I'm gonna say, you know what, sir? He's gonna say what? And I'm gonna say, you ugly. And I'm gonna drop him. And that's just how I'm gonna leave it. And y'all, everybody that's here right now that's listening, y'all gonna know where it came from. It's not gonna be that many of y'all because it's only 14 people in here, but I promise you the 14 of y'all come in my lives a lot, so y'all gonna know. And I really yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna say, sir, you ugly. And I'm gonna drop them like because there's so many of them that do be ugly, and I always don't even. I try not to even go there, but why not? And why can't we go there? Why can't we? They don't have any problems going there when they don't like what they don't like. And I I think, more men need to be punched in the mouth by women, but of course that doesn't happen a lot because, men are stronger than women. So by default, I just think more women should be humbling men and not have them walking around thinking that there's something that they're not when more than likely they ugly. So yeah, that's what I'm be doing. But anyway, you guys, I appreciate y'all so much for sticking with me on this live and having this conversation with me, even though, I had my stalker, whoever it may be, that reported the live and got me on a restriction. But I still appreciate y'all rocking out with me and talking and keeping me company. I really do. Thanks so much, Gabrielle, for coming up. Thanks so much, Coach T, for coming up. And thanks so much, Miss Chrissy, baby, especially because girl, you had me rolling, and you always be coming up in the clutch, like during clutch times when I really need to speak to somebody. You be coming up. Oh, and also Miss Supervillain as well. But yeah, I appreciate y'all so much. I really do. I appreciate y'all so much, just as much as y'all like the space because y'all feel uplifted. Y'all uplift me as well. I promise y'all do, and it really means a lot to me that I've had a chance to meet so many beautiful, beautiful, not only on the outside but also on the inside, like Black women that are beautiful, inside and out. And I honestly, I don't just say this because I'm a Black woman, but I really do think that Black women are the most amazing beings on the planet Earth. And I really do believe that there's a spiritual component to why we receive the most abuse. And I think it is because of that. And whether it's a subconscious level that people do that to us because they recognize, our power and, our amazing beauty and grace, I don't know. But I just know that in my opinion, the Bible says the last will become first. And I really do believe that. I know a lot of people don't believe in the Bible, but just look at it from just even karmic implications. If you want to believe it in that way, things have got to turn around. And I do believe that eventually, everyone that has done evil to us will pay for it. Really. Because the majority of Black women that I know that I've come across, and I think I can say collectively, Black women do nothing but try to make the world a better place with their own actions and with how they treat others. And there's literally no reason to treat a group of women as horribly as we have been treated. Yet we still persevere. Yet we still rise and still shine and still instill so much trust in people to where they say, oh, I'm going to come to a Black woman if I'm in trouble because I know they're going to care. Yeah, okay. Even though no one cares about us, but anyway, I just want to say I love y'all and I think that y'all are awesome. And, and I'm just happy that I get to share spaces with all of you guys. Genuinely and honestly, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I love y'all and I will love Black women until there is no more breath in my body. And until that day, I will try my best to uplift y'all and do the best that I can to, make you guys feel heard and seen. All right, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great night. Okay, bye.